with us. Hogan Gidley's only got a few minutes joining us now. Hogan, thanks for being with us. Let's get right to it. The letter yesterday, the President, the Trump administration, sent to Nancy Pelosi. Now what?
Well, listen, the president has done nothing wrong, and the Democrats know it. This is a complete political scam. The American people are beginning to see that now, and they are beginning to understand the fact that everyone within the sound of my voice expects and receives due process under the law. But for some reason, the Democrats believe their hatred for this president and their desire to overturn the 2016 election, which was free and fair, somehow gives them the right to ignore due process for this individual, Donald Trump. That is ridiculous. It's unconstitutional, and we're not going to stand for it anymore.
Hogan Gidley with us. Hogan, I love what you guys did. You're fighting back. Basically, you've called the Democrats out for the clown show they're putting on, the political clown show. You want to vote on a hearing. If they have a vote and it passes and you get an impeachment hearing, do you then intend to fully comply with protocol?
Well, look, I don't want to get into hypotheticals because they have to put up this vote first for that to happen. And look, Nancy Pelosi's clearly lost control of her caucus. You and I both know that. First, she was controlled by the squad. Then an unnamed, unverified whistleblower pushed her to make this move. But the fact is, you can't have it both ways. You can't say we're doing an impeachment inquiry and also we're going to continue business as usual as it relates to oversight. Those two things can't match up. It's either one or the other. And Nancy Pelosi, it appears for the moment, is trying to have it both ways. So we've got to figure out what they want to do first before we decide what our next move is. But in this current environment, it's just untenable, and we can't continue on this way. But, I mean, can you imagine anybody receiving, any American citizen receiving a vitriolic threat of this kind, intimidation tactics that basically say, you need to appear in front of our committee, and the decision that you say I need an attorney or I need to look at the information first, that constitutes an evidence of obstruction. I mean, that is ludicrous. You as an American citizen, you deserve due process. You have the right to see all the evidence. You have the right to present evidence, call witnesses, have counsel present, cross-examine witnesses, to make objections. All the things that you see on all the courtroom dramas, they're the reason those are, kind of innate in all the storylines, because that's what every American citizen receives. But they hate Donald Trump so much that they've lied about him for years as it relates to Russia. They lied also about, Justice Kavanaugh. They've lied about cover-ups. They just continue to tell untruths about the president. And let's not forget someone like Adam Schiff, for example, who has lied multiple times, said he had stone-cold evidence about Russia and didn't. Then he went to the cameras at the dais in front of the American people and Congress and lied, passing off his own words as that of the president. And by the way, if that phone call with Ukraine was so damning, why didn't he just read the text of the phone call? It wasn't damning, so he had to make something up to make it appear worse than it actually was. And then also he's lying about this cover-up. Nothing here was covered up. We literally released the entire document to the American people. So this is a continued effort that was put out. I think the earliest record of it was actually a Vanity Fair article in December of 2016 after the election, December 15th, in which they talked about how the Democrats are going to work to move toward impeachment. So just about a month after the election, they were already using the I word. So this is a clear political tactic. It's not about getting to the truth. It's about trying to take down a president. And for once, Republicans, a person who's leading the party in Donald Trump, is saying, I'm just not going to play by your games anymore.
Well, you're firing back, and basically now you're telling Pelosi she has to basically without being crude, crap or get off the pot. So what happens now? You're not going to comply with any of this, short of having an impeachment vote, which puts her in a box, because if they do vote for the hearing, she's going to lose the gavel. I have no doubt in my mind. If she doesn't vote for the hearing, she's going to get ousted by the left-wing crackpots that are running her caucus. So short of her having the vote, what are you guys going to do?
Well, it's interesting because you remember how much we have been transparent, how much we have completely and totally worked with Democrats, even through ridiculous requests. Bob Mueller said we didn't impede his investigation at all. We gave millions of pieces of paper, hundreds of hours of testimony. Remember, there were lawyers, subpoenas, FBI agents. They looked into this for years, and we completely cooperated, and it still wasn't good enough. And now they're saying after all of the legal wrangling that we tried to do, and all the ways we went and played by the book, the forward-facing stuff. Forget all the backdoor stuff they did that was questionable at best. After all that, we know that the Trump campaign was spied on and all those things. Now they're saying, well, that's not good enough. Now we're going to forgo the Constitution and just try and do it our way, behind closed doors with secret witnesses and secret interviews, and the whistleblower who clearly went to Adam Schiff first, even though Adam Schiff said he never knew anything about it when he lied on MSNBC about knowing this person was going to come forward. And then we find out later, of course, in the New York Times that this person did go to Adam Schiff long before this. So this is the type of tactic they're trying to take. They want to muddy the waters. They still want to attack the president. So moving forward, we will see just how we handle it because, the ball's in their court. They've decided to forego the Constitution and kind of be corrupt in their dealings, and we just said we're not going to deal that way. You're going to have to give us something better than that.
Is there anything they can do, go to an appeals court, something to force your hand, or do they simply they can't do anything without a vote?
Again, I'm not sure, but the House's own rules say if you're going to move forward with an impeachment inquiry, you have to vote on it. So it appears to me what Nancy Pelosi was trying to do, and I could be wrong. I hate to speak for the Democrats. I could never, would never supposed to do that. But, she's trying to thread a needle here. As you said, the left-wing radical base of her party, who is in control of the caucus now, wants her to do this. So she just used the word impeachment a bunch, but never actually called for a vote on it. And this is political because she, again, like Adam Schiff, said she had evidence before we even released the text of the call. She couldn't even wait 12 hours, and as the president said, had she done that, she wouldn't look foolish. But instead, she came out and made claims when she didn't have all the evidence. And that's extremely problematic, I think, for the Democrats and for Nancy Pelosi moving forward, because we have been above board in all of this. We have been transparent. We have worked with them over and over and over again, even though some of the requests they had were just ridiculous. We did it thinking that would that'd be the end of the story, but nope. It's never enough for Democrats. And while they are out there grandstanding and playing politics with people's lives, this president continues to work. We've got an EO signing today. We're doing all types of things here to benefit the American economy, the American worker, working on trade deals, for example, and they continue to play politics, and that's just it's more than disingenuous, and it's more than disgusting. It's dangerous. I mean, people need to understand this. What they're doing to try and subvert due process and ignore the Constitution of the United States just because they hate Donald Trump, it's a dangerous precedent to set.
Well, look, along with Pelosi jumping the gun, you had 7 Democrats, all vulnerable, all in House members in Trump districts that he won, jumping the gun on a Sunday or a Monday before the transcript came out, doing an op-ed in the Washington Post. All of them are vulnerable now. I know you got to take off. Final question. Do you have any fear of a hearing vote, or do you care one way or the other?
Well, care may be the wrong way to put it, but do we fear it? No. The president thrives in these situations because he's been discounted from the word go, but he's been leading the pack ever since he came down the golden escalator. And this is the type of messaging and the type of fight he likes because he can expose just how corrupt the Democrats have become. And while they go after this president and wanted to find out so much what happened in 2016 in the election, it's fine when Donald Trump's being investigated. But when he's doing the investigating, they don't care about 2016 anymore. And I'm old enough to remember when they actually wanted to find out what happened in the 2016 election. And so, they're so they're so hypocritical here, and I think the American people are going to see that, and this process is only going to expose that hypocrisy.
Hogan, I know you have to take off for a meeting. Thanks for being with us. Hogan Gidley, Deputy Press Secretary, President Trump, Deputy Communications Director, White House. Hogan, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right.